Hi, I'm Dr. Messina, and every once in a while, a new trend emerges in tattooing that I completely disagree with. First, it was the scleral tattoo of the eye. Now, it's micropigmentation or microblading of a beard. And I think it could give you a lot of trouble, and I'm going to tell you why. And because of these are two separate entities, I'm going to discuss each of them individually. Let's start with micropigmentation. It started with scalp micropigmentation and over the years has really become a beautiful art form where they put tiny little dots of ink in the scalp. And they're all fairly uniform and they're very narrow, 1 to 2 millimeters at most. It's the same type thing for putting micropigmentation into a beard. However, there are some problems with it, and I think if you do this, they will develop sooner than later. First of all, when it's on the scalp, you basically just see it from the hairline. But when it's on the face, you're going to see its shortcomings straight on. And everyone you talk to face to face, you're going to be wondering, are they looking at my beard or are they actually talking to me? The problem is that from 10 feet away, it's going to look like an unshaven face. However, when you get close and start talking, you're going to notice there's no elevation. This is flat to the skin. It's just a series of dots and it looks very unnatural. Now, you can laser off micropigmentation fairly well. I have several videos on scalp micropigmentation and its removal with a laser because there's a lot of misconceptions that it's going to burn, it's going to explode, and all these nasty things that don't happen. So if you do get micropigmentation of the beard, you can laser it off. Before we get into microblading, which has a whole different problem, I'm going to ask you, I'd love to have 100,000 subs by the time I'm 70. I got about 2.5 years to go. So if you do like these videos, give me a thumbs up, hit the bell for subscribe, and I'll continue to be the old boomer that makes these medical videos. Now, let's get back to microblading. When you microblade an eyebrow, it's a different ink. It's different than cosmetic ink, and it's very different than ink that's used for tattooing. This ink has minerals in it, and when they place that ink in an eyebrow, you do get the effect of having brows. You do see those fine little lines that you might see in somebody's eyebrow. And we really don't focus on people's eyebrows. You might see it at first and then look into their eyes or look into the rest of their face, but you're not really concentrating on the eyebrows. Now, if you do that same procedure on the beard area, a large area straight on, you're going to notice, wait a second, those little lines are flat to the skin. There's no elevation. There's no hair follicle sticking out. And it's going to look very unnatural. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is that ink used for microblading is different and it oxidizes when the laser hits it. And it usually oxidizes from a nice blackish brown ink to this crazy looking, almost neon orangey yellow ink, which could be very difficult to come off. Now, when it happens on an eyebrow, it's not a big deal. You could always pencil in a brow with a little mascara. However, you're not going to be able to do that on your whole face. It's going to look ridiculous. And it doesn't always come off. You see, when it oxidizes to that yellowy orange, it's absorbing a wavelength about 480 nanometers. There are no 480 wavelength lasers. The closest we have would be like a 532. So we treat it with that in the hopes that that orangey yellow, almost neon color absorbs the laser and starts to break down, but it's not a guarantee. So you could be stuck with that crazy color in your face for a very long time. Plus, the KTP laser increases the risk of developing hypopigmentation, so you could actually permanently lose some skin color in that beard area. So for this, I'm really not a fan of tattooing beards in, either with micropigmentation or microblading. I hope you learned something in this video and think twice before you do it. Take care.